Welcome back to Real Life Reviews vlog. It's been a while, but we've got an interesting day today. A really good buddy of mine, Mark, he rides a Factor. I think it's an 02. He's got a Bianchi as his winter bike. Yeah, he likes his bikes and he's a damn good rider. But he today is planning on test riding. He's got a booking at what I call the Factor shop at Vires Velo near Norwich in the UK. He's got a test ride on the new Ostro. So we're going to head that way and see how it is. But we're going to head with a difference because we're going to meet up at the train station. We're going to cycle to the train station. I say we, Mark and I, and then another good buddy, Simon, is going to join us. We're going to meet up at the train station in Ipswich and take the train from Ipswich to Norwich. So a little cycle to start with. We're then going to cycle from Norwich out to Hethel, where I call it the Factor shop, but where Vires Velo is. That's about 10 miles. Do the test ride and then cycle home from there, which is going to be a bit over 50 miles. Great day, should be fantastic. The only thing that's putting us down at the moment is if I just come outside and we have a little look around, it's pretty groggy weather. The camera probably makes this look a lot brighter than it actually is, and it has just been sheeting it down. The place is soaking wet. I'll just show you the top of the hot tub with the cover on. It is, give it a kick. You see that water. It's been pretty foul. Anyway, despite all, I've got my Colnago ready. It's sat there, it's got its water bottles on, Di2's charged up, the chain is lubed, tyres are done, Garmin's ready to record. I've got some bits and bobs of food. I've put a top tube bag on because the back pockets of my cycling shirt are obviously going to have a little bit more food, but they're going to have my phone and my camera tucked in the back. I'm not going to use a mount today, I'm just going to take a handheld. So we're kind of ready to go and get, I think, wet. Right, cycling shirt on, ready to go. An interesting point as I'm about to head to the station. In the UK here, we're very pro, obviously, people getting on bikes. I say that slightly guardedly. We haven't shown as much help with infrastructure, etc., as many countries around the world, particularly in some of the European countries. However, we are getting there. And one of the things is the train companies they will say on their websites, they say they're very pro people taking their bikes on the train. They want to reduce road traffic and they want to encourage people onto the trains. That's great. However, you can't just turn up and put your bike on a train, generally speaking. You have to pre-book a slot. So when I went to pre-book my slot book my ticket and my slot for my bike for this train from Ipswich to Norwich, there are only 4 slots for people to take bikes on the train. And as you've probably worked out by now, there's 3 of us going. So we're 3 of those 4 slots. So I'm really sorry for other people that we might have stolen their slots for or turn up today and they can't get their bike on the train. I think that's just a little bit crazy. If there's space, they should be able to take it on. But anyway, let's head outside, let's get on the bike and let's head towards the train station and meet the other 2 guys. And now for what's going to be the least enjoyable part of this ride. Now, I'm not going to try and hold whilst I go through traffic, but I'm heading into town through the rush hour traffic to head to the station. So wish me luck. Not going to be enjoyable, but it's how the day's got to start. Made it in one piece, just waiting for Simon and Mark now. Hopefully they'll be 5 minutes or so. I was going to get a coffee, but I've had a lot of coffee already today, so I'll wait for them. I've got my ticket. 1 British Rail ticket, and actually that's the cycle reservation, and that's my ticket. So ready to head to Norwich. Speak to you soon. Okay, made it on the train. Bikes, yeah, plush, and we've got Simon. Say hi, Simon.
Hi guys.
Yep, and we've got Mark, who's going to spend a lot of money. He's hiding his face. He's going to spend a lot of money on the new Factor. We hope his wife's not watching. And now that we're editing, time for a quick little bit of footage of the Ostro VAM on the road. And let me just... Looking cool, Simon.
Goes like the clappers,
It does, doesn't it, mate? You look good on it. Oh. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm a bit difficult, I think. A little bit.
That's Simon just disappearing in. We've just done a test loop, and Mark and Simon have been on the Ostros, and I tell you what, it was astonishing. I kid you not, I was on a flat piece of road, knocking along at 26.3 miles an hour, and Mark was behind me, and he just decided he'd have a push, and he passed me like there was no tomorrow. Those bikes are absolutely, I was going to say electric. They're obviously not e-bikes, but they are electric. They're fantastic. There's a smiley boy, happy boy, that passed me at ridiculous speed.
But yeah, no, they are very, very stable.
And there's the steed.
The version I took before. Okay. So I've got like the V1 disc. Yeah. And then I've got.
Wow. Oof. Made it back. And that was a tough ride back. We'll come to that in a moment. So, what a day. What a bit of an adventure. Short ride to the station, 3 miles through rush hour traffic. That was an adventure on its own. Train to Norwich. A couple of mistakes coming out of Norwich, trying to follow the Garmin and looking and traffic and not wanting to put myself at risk and etc. So, but then once out of Norwich, it's about 10 miles to Vires Velo, the Factor place. And yeah, we rode that pretty hard actually, so quite a bit of anaerobic in there, to the point that there's a 7.81 mile segment from the edge of Norwich, or just outside Norwich, to the Hethel Engineering Centre, which is where Lotus is based, and I got a top 10 on that. So yeah, we did work reasonably hard at that. So chat, nice coffee, and then the test loop, which is just over 10 miles, and Mark and Simon obviously rode their Ostro VAMs, and yeah, we rode that pretty hard as well. So a couple of 10-mile hits that were quite hard before a little chat, and then that 50-mile slog home into the wind. And yeah, that was a slog. It was hard work, and I guess actually, to be positive, it was good training. It was good training. So we'll take that. So what have I learned today? Interesting. The first thing is that whilst in this country, in the UK, we talk about the environment, etc., and the rail companies talk about wanting to encourage people to take bikes on trains, it's actually not the best experience in the world. You have to pre-book. You can't just you kind of made a muck-up on a ride, turn up at a train station and take your bike on a train. It doesn't work like that. You've got to have a reserved place. And you're then at the mercy of if you've got staff there. And of course, one of the big things at the moment in this country is we're looking at removing ticket offices and everything going to machine. So that would remove the human element, whereby you can plead errors, things gone wrong, fatigue, need to rush home, whatever, and get your bike on the train. So yeah, the rail bike experience wasn't the greatest experience in the world, and you end up sitting on a poxy little tip over bench seat, a bit like those of you that are old enough might remember from McDonald's of long ago, but with a little bit of cushioning on it. So that wasn't the greatest of experiences. The second thing is, I've learned that I am now absolutely losing patience with my Garmin Vectors. To be fair, they've seen me true for quite a long time, but so much recently, they go through batteries really quickly. My right pedal drops out all the time, and that gives you an annoying message on my head unit. And yeah, quite frankly, I'm just giving up. Yeah, a shame, because they've been so good. Now, what I've not tried is the new Garmin Rally, but my big criticism, or it's not really a criticism, but my frustration with Garmin is I would like these to be rechargeable. So I have my Viveros, which again is a pedal I quite like. They don't quite give all the dynamics that the Vector does, but I have an issue with my Viveros, and that is I find them really hard to unclip from. I know I'm not alone in this. I know if you look at the forums, it's a known issue, but it doesn't seem to be everybody. So whether there's some springs are stiffer than others that are fitted, I don't know. But I have mine on Reluce's fitting and they're a real struggle. So at the moment they're on the turbo, and I'm hoping to loosen the spring up by being on and off the turbo. So maybe I'll do a bit more turbo riding and try and loosen that spring. So yeah, Vectors, losing patience with you. The third though and final thing, what have I learned? I've learned that Vires Velo and Factor look after you really well, and they make fantastic bikes. I'm going to be going back and I am going to test ride the Ostro VAM. I was blown away. Mark and Simon are stronger riders than me, no question about that. Simon's 30 years younger. Mark's not only 10 years younger, but he is just simply a better cyclist. He's stronger and been doing it for a lot longer. But what they got out of those bikes was just phenomenal. And I mentioned it earlier. We were on the flat, I was in the middle. Simon decided to give it a bit of a punch and he disappeared off up the road. Mark decided to follow, dropped out to the side and just went past me. It was like a knife through butter. He just, and I looked down at my Garmin and I was doing 26.3 miles an hour. And he just went. It was crazy. So yeah, Vires Velo, Factor, fantastic, great experience and lovely bikes. If you've enjoyed the video, I'm really pleased, but do give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, where we have got loads of videos and reviews, we've got something in the region of 100 videos now and growing and growing. But if you haven't subscribed, then click on the little round picture just down there. And in the other three corners, I'm going to stick up some other vlog videos for you to just have a look back on. Thanks again for watching and catch up soon.